Hello and welcome. In this video we are building this super fancy dashboard which compares a dollar cost average strategy with a lump sum strategy. So here you can pick your coin, or you can also search for a particular coin, and as you see the graphs are updating. You can also change the time horizon here and the amount you are investing each month. And this is what we are going to build in just some lines of Python. Important to mention here, you will need some basic knowledge of STREAMLIT, and you should have watched the previous dollar cost average video where I explained the calculations. Also, basic understanding of using the Python Binance library doesn't hurt. I will link everything you need in the video description. Before we are getting started with the coding part, thanks a lot to Rise for sponsoring this video. Rise is an intelligent time tracker that improves your focus and helps you build better work habits. For me, as someone who besides working full-time works on private coding projects and also on content creation, I have to manage my time efficiently. And the better I manage my time, the more productive I am. For exactly that, Rise is a very helpful tool as it automatically tracks and categorizes your work activity in real time. Also, you can improve your ability to focus and figure out what websites and apps are distracting you, and also very important, how often you're context switching. In summary, Rise is for anyone who greatly values their time and wants to improve their overall productivity. So try Rise for free and maximize your productivity. The first 1000 to sign up using my code ALGOVIBES, or the link in my description, will get 25% off the first 3 months with Rise. Thanks again, Rise, for sponsoring this video. Alright, let's get started. We need some libraries. Pandas for data handling, the client from the Python Binance library to be able to pull cryptocurrency price data. I'm also instantiating the client here. And finally, STREAMLIT as our dashboarding library. Next, I'm going to copy paste a list of cryptocurrencies from my other screen, and I'm storing that in a variable tickers. Don't worry, you don't have to type that for yourself. I will just post this list in the video description. Side note here, the better way would be to use a database where you are storing the price data for each coin and take the coin name as the table name and connect that database to the dashboard. This is something we can do in future videos if you're interested in that, so just let me know. And by the way, I've already covered something like that, so connect an SQL database with STREAMLIT in the past, but happy to do that with this dashboard or this project as well. For now, we have this list of cryptocurrency names. And next we are going to create our drop-down menu using STREAMLIT's select box and give it a title, pick your coin please, and here we are providing the tickers so that you can pick out of those coin lists here. Okay, so this is the first drop-down. When I'm executing that here, you will see that I'm getting a warning. Background of this is that we are currently in a Jupyter notebook, and you cannot run a Jupyter notebook with STREAMLIT. You can also only take raw Python files on STREAMLIT. I've explained that in the previous STREAMLIT videos, but just that you're aware. That also means that I cannot show you every single line of code I will use in the course of this video, because the variables need your user input, right? So I cannot show you how every variable is looking like. So again, I recommend to watch my DCA calculations video, because this is everything you need to understand what I'm doing in the upcoming steps after I've created the front end of the dashboard. So for now, let's create the date picker using STREAMLIT's date input. Give it a title, just taking start here, and then a default value. And I'm just taking October 2021 here. And I'm doing a datetime transformation because this is currently a string. And with that, I have a default date value for the date select box here, right? And finally, last but not least, we need the monthly investment amount using STREAMLIT's number input here, and give it a title, choose investment per month. And that's already it for the user input, right? And next we need the, let's call it backend. And this is pulling price data using the Binance API, right? And I'm using a function which I was using in many of my previous videos. I will just copy paste it here. Let's go quickly over it again. But yeah, I don't want to explain it over and over again because I've covered that in so many of my previous videos. So I will link a video, of course, explaining that. So this function get data is pulling price data for a given symbol and a given starting date here, right? So these are just some slicings, then some renamings and some data manipulations here. The output of this function is quite straightforward. So if I want to pull cryptocurrency price data starting in the beginning of 2022 here, I'm getting a data frame like this, right? Now I have price data, daily, open, high, low, close data, starting from this date until this date here. And I will use this function now and connect that to my user input. So my input for the coin would be my drop-down variable, right? Where I'm selecting my coin. So this would be drop-down. And my start date would just be my start value, which is also user input here, right? And now this is what I said some minutes ago. I cannot show you the output of this. And this will be a problem for the upcoming steps because I basically cannot show you what I'm doing because I need user input. And this is why you have to watch the previous video, because the DCA calculation steps I've covered in detail there, and I will just copy paste them here without showing you what they are about, right? So for now, until now, we have price data pulled, right? For the user input, drop down and start. So whenever you are picking a new coin, you're getting new price data pulled. And whenever you pick a new start date, you're getting new price data pulled as well, starting from a different date here. Now comes the DCA calculation. And first, as you remember from the previous video, we need a by dates array, right? Starting at the first index of the data frame and ending at the last index of the data frame, and you have a certain frequency. So in this case, I'm taking a month, and then you're just getting the by dates. So if you would take this one here, you would get 1st January, next one would be 1st February, and so on. So this is the by dates. So I won't execute it here because I don't have data frame defined, because data frame is dependent, or df, my df variable is dependent on the user input here, right? So I won't execute that for now, but you will get an array of buying dates here. Next, you need the buy prices, and this is simply screening the data frame for only those rows which are contained in the buying dates here, and then is screening for the close price. And with that, you're getting a buy price each month. Next, you need to know the amount of the coin you can buy, and this is simply your investment you have divided by this buy price array. As said, explained in the previous video in detail. Then you need the lump sum, you need the lump sum amount, and this is simply your investment times the length of the buy prices, y times the length of buy prices, because the length of the buy prices is the frequency you bought and invested your investment amount, right? So if you have a length of 10, you have 10 investment dates. And if you invested 100 times 10, you invested 1K overall, right? So when you invested 1K overall, you need to calculate 1K divided by the very first buy price here. And this is your amount of coins you can buy using the lump sum strategy. Next, I'm going to sum up the amount of coins in the coin amount. Background behind that is I want to know how much coins I'm holding on each date here. And then I need to rename some stuff here. This has data manipulation reasons. I've explained that as said in the previous video. So next we are bringing this this coin amount sum and our data frame together to know what exactly our portfolio worth is each day here, right? So as said some minutes ago, I cannot show you what I'm doing here, and this might be quite hard to understand now if you didn't watch the previous video, but if you watched the previous video, you will understand what I'm doing here, right? Next, I want to have a column containing the coin amount lump sum, and I'm just providing my coin amount lump sum here. With that, I have everything to calculate my portfolio worth of both the DCA strategy and the lump sum strategy. And what I'm doing is simply I'm taking the coin amount DCA column and multiply it with the close, because the coin amount DCA column is containing the amount of the coin I'm currently holding times the close price, so times what it is worth, right? And same for the lump sum portfolio worth. So I'm just going to take the coin amount DCA and multiply it with the close, and I have my daily portfolio worth using the DCA strategy, and same for the lump sum strategy, right? So I can only stress this again. You will need to watch the previous video and then you will understand those vector operations. So multiplying this with that, I've shown it there, how it is working. So yeah, as said, watch it and it will become way more clear than just showing you the code without any output here. Anyhow, next we need to calculate the performance using the DCA and the lump sum strategy. So we are going to call that performance DCA, and this is simply the very last value of the portfolio worth using the DCA strategy divided by the investment times the length of the buy prices, right? Investment times length of buy prices again is your whole investment amount. So if you have 10 months and invest 100 each month, your investment amount overall is 1K, right? So if you want to calculate the DCA performance, you take this 1K and set the portfolio worth using the DCA strategy into relation to that on the very last date, right? So you're taking the very last row of your portfolio worth DCA and divide that by your overall investment, okay? And let's say you made your current portfolio worth is more than 1K, then you made profit with the DCA strategy, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just taking the portfolio DCA, then the very last value of that array or that column, and then set that into relation to my investment times the length of the buy prices again. And I'm subtracting a 1 from that. So same logic for the lump sum strategy. So we have a performance lump sum, and I'm just taking the last row here and set that into relation to my invested money. And with that, I'm getting the performance both for my DCA strategy and my lump sum strategy. Next, I'm going to do the visualization, right? I'm just taking STREAMLIT's line chart and pass the portfolio DCA column, right? Because this is my portfolio worth every single day using the DCA strategy. And after that, I want to have the performance evaluation, right? So I'm just taking STREAMLIT white and then DCA performance and now I have to calculate, or not calculate, but transform the performance into a readable form here. So currently the performance is looking something like, if you made, let's say, 20% profit, you will see 0.2, right? But we want to have it user friendly, so we want to see we made 20% profit using the DCA strategy. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm just doing some manipulations here. So how can I do that? I first just simply take my performance DCA here and multiply it with 100. So this is what I just explained, right? So if I have 0.2, I multiply it with 100, and instead of getting the 0.2, I'm getting the 20% here. Then I'm rounding that so that I don't have some numbers like 20.5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and so on. I don't just get endless decimals here. So I want to round that to 2 decimals here. And then I have to transform that, because this is a floating value here, to a string value, so that I can simply write it out here, right? So I can concat that float number with the string DCA performance. So I'm just transforming that to a string, and with that I have something like 20.45 until now, and now I have to add the percentage symbol as well, because currently I have 20 dot something, and I just want to add percentage here. Okay. And I forgot some parentheses, it seems. Yes, this one. Okay, so this is simply printing out the performance for DCA, doing some data manipulations. And now pretty much the same for the lump sum. So just line chart again. Charting the lump sum column here. So this is the portfolio worth for lump sum. And then basically the exact same thing for the lump sum performance. So performance lump sum. And yeah, that's already it. So the next step would be to download this as a raw Python file. So let's actually just do that together. But let's give it a name first, fancy dashboard. And then we can download that. I need to zoom out a bit. Download that as a raw Python file here. So I hope I don't have any private things in my download folder. Where it is. And then we have our fancy dashboard here. So I'm opening up the terminal. So if you are working with Windows here, right? You need the Anaconda prompt, for instance. And then I'm just simply taking STREAMLIT 1 and then the path of this file. So just pulling that in here. So I hope you can see that, STREAMLIT 1. And let's see what we got here. So, and as you see, we are getting this beautiful error message here. So let's fix that together. I messed up here. So type error, input type must be string, somewhere around the get data function. So let's go back into the code to the get data function. And I'm quickly explaining where I messed up here, if you're interested in that. So the start value is a datetime format, and you have to pass a string format to the Python Binance library or the Binance API. So we can simply reassign start here and typecast that to a string value. That will fix the problem. So in this case, you have to download that again as a raw Python file. If you don't work in the raw Python file in the code editor or IDE, which is the recommended way here, right? So with that, of course, the file will have a slightly different name. So in this case, fancy dashboard 2 here. So let's run STREAMLIT again. And yeah, you see, I already ran it to see if it really works this time. So as a spoiler, this will work. So choose an investment amount, 100 bucks. Choose different coins here. Works, right? Bitcoin, Ripple, and so on. Choose different dates. Yeah, here you are. Here you have a beautiful dashboard containing very interesting information. Play around with that. Of course, as I already said, a lot of improvement potential, but at least a starting point. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was interesting. Let me know what you would be interested in. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. And I'm looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Bye bye.